Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today's a video which is a bit of a review of some different miniatures. As you can see there, I've got some Warlord Games Samurai Horsemen and some Fireforge Samurai Horsemen. But also I'm embarking on my Samurai project. So I thought I'd talk you through some of my thoughts and ideas about that and what I'm doing with it. So last year I was able to pick up at a couple of Bring and Buys a load of Samurai metal. So I've got about 150 Samurai metal Peri miniature metal infantry. So I've supplemented that with some cavalry, some plastic cavalry. And I also picked up the Warlord Games Samurai Starter Army. We're wargaming, we're going to be doing some Samurai Wars stuff in the club. We're going to do individual skirmish games. And we're writing our own rules for that, or adapting some rules for that. And we'll do some mass battle games. So I haven't quite decided on what mass battle rules we use. We might use a derivative of like Hail Caesar or Pike and Shot because people know that. I might look at a more specific set of rules, some adaptations. So what we are going to do is everybody's going to be mounted individually. Then when we fight some mass battles, we'll provide some movement trace. We'll get some regiments moving. So in front of us, as we see, is the Fireforge box and the Warlord Games box. And I have a Peri miniature metal commander for to show off as well. Straight away, the Fireforge miniature is significantly more chunky. This is a Fireforge miniature than the other two. The other two are of a similar sort of stature and build. The Warlord one's probably slighter than the other two. If when I'm using these, I'll probably use a regiment of Fireforge together, a regiment of Warlord Games together. You know, being in the same army or opposing each other, there's not that much in it. From initial looks, I think I'm favouring the Fireforge miniature. I just like the chunkiness of it. But still, both pretty nicely posed. I find the Warlord Game Samurai, especially infantry, look a bit rigid. Really put me off the 7-Year War AWI plastics. But the Samurai range aren't that bad. And the Fireforge stuff, I saw the infantry at the club on Wednesday. So yeah, the War Games Club, if you're in Glasgow, we meet on a Wednesday night, 6 o'clock till 9, half 9. It's near Ibrox, it's an industrial park near Ibrox at the ACVC Charity Hub. And if you want to get hold of us and chat to us, it's ACVC War Games Fellowship. So yeah, so that is the miniatures built up. Now what do you actually get? Let's have a look at the sprues. So we'll start off with the War Games Atlantic. So yeah, Warlord Games bought War Games Atlantic and like filled a load of ranges in. But like I say, War Games Atlantic, they just always feel a bit stiff in my opinion. But actually, I got a good deal on the Samurai Army, so when I want to do mass battles, it's a way for me to get a load of miniatures on the table relatively cheaply. So they do have one awesome feature which I wish a lot of other plastic manufacturers would take in. See these big pegs and holes? So what this means is the sprues will sit nicely together and the plastics aren't going to crush into each other. Really nice design feature. Must be better for sort of packing and creating packaging from their end, and actually for me as a consumer it probably means there's going to be less damage coming to any plastics. But anyway, you get 6 horses on the sprue, so you get 2 horse sprues, basic bodies, heads, tail glued in. You need to kind of put the tail in before you glue it together. You also get these are kind of messenger bags full of air. And it was on the back of the horseman, and the idea was while it was galloping, if it got shot with arrows, the arrows would get caught up in the airbags. So yeah, pretty simple frame, does what it says on the tin. And then the riders, so you get 6 riders on this sprue, so you get 2 sprues. You've got 3 archers, plus enough lancers for every model to be lance armed, and you've got some command pieces as well. You've got 6, 7, 8 heads. You've got, with those as well, you've got these crests to glue in the sort of middle of the helmet as well. It was a bit fiddly, but it doesn't mean you're going to get a load of different varieties of heads. And you want your samurai warriors to be individuals in the service of their lord. The other thing worth noting is you need to glue these pieces on to the arms, and that's what they are for as well. So it's not a hard job, but can get a bit fiddly if you don't think about the order that you're assembling them in. But yeah, gluing these bits on, that was a bit fiddly. I mean, some of these are quite small, and just making sure they're nice and centre. That is the Warlord Games sprues. Next up we have the Fireforge sprues. So I'll start off with the horses. So straight away you're getting 3 horses on the sprue, which means you're going to get 4 horse sprues. You've got your messenger bags, you've got 3 helmets there, these bit more fancier helmets, plus your legs. Notice your arms have got that piece of armour on there as well. So that is the sprue. Again, separate tails. Now these will plug in, so you can glue the 2 sides together and then glue it in, as opposed to the other ones where you had to kind of put the glue on and put the tail and pinch it between the 2 of them. So let's have a look at the rider sprue. So you actually get 4 of these, so tons of spare parts. So each one's designed to make 3 models. So your legs are on the horses, so if you had spare legs you could make more riders. But anyway, it's so you can give you a lot of variety. Like I said before, samurai should be individuals in the service of their lords, and the back banners is what kind of ties them together to the clan allegiance. I say lords, daimyos. So you got a load of heads, so 4, 8, 12, 15, 19 times whatever, times 4, an amazing amount of heads. So you'll be able to really mix and match, or actually put similar sort of heads together for units. You've got enough bows for everybody to be bow armed. Samurai were originally bow mounted cavalry. When they certainly faced the Mongols, who were bow mounted cavalry. One of the things I've got a passion for samurai history, especially the Sengoku period, which is equivalent to Britain's War of the Roses. So big dynastic struggles ended up in the shogunate, and different clans fighting different clans, different allegiances. But anyway, this is the sprue. So I am quite taken with the Fireforge Games plastics. I like the chunkiness. I like the significant amount of options. So there we are. Now, it's not just cavalry. I thought I'd also pull out some of the infantry to show the difference. So I've got plastic Warlord Games infantry, Warlord Games Atlantic infantry, and I've got some metal Perry infantry. I've not got any of the Fireforge infantry, so I've not started painting my vast pile of Perry's metal or plastics from Warlord Games yet. But I think the Perry miniatures, I mean, the metal tends to have a bit well done metal, and Perry miniatures is well done metal, tends to have a bit more character about them. The plastics for Warlord Games Atlantic do look a bit static. I mean, he's stood with a bag on his back, but so actually, in terms of size, other than the slightness of the plastics, they have a similar sort of height and build. And like I say, my plan is to just have regiments of the plastic ones built up for when we do mass battles. For most of my individual skirmish stuff, it's going to be the Perry metals running around as individuals. Not great showing off undercoated black miniatures. I appreciate that. But anyway, right, that's everything I've got to say so far about my samurai project. This month, 4 weeks, plan to get about 48 miniatures painted. start trialing our samurai skirmish rules that we're planning and see where it goes from there. And so hopefully in 4 weeks time, so start of February, I'll be doing a video which is looking at what I've painted, how I've painted it, learning points, and take things from there. But anyway, thanks for listening. I look forward to chatting to you again when I've got more samurai done, and I'll see you in the future. Goodbye for now. Goodbye.